Hey, backcountry.church, this is Pastor Kyle, and we are doing a conversation with. I am so excited. Today we have something that we've never done before. We have, tell me your name.
John Snopkowski.
And what do you do?
I'm a full-time golf instructor at the Santa Teresa Golf Club.
What? We have a professional golfer. And who are you?
I'm Tony Tropea.
And what do you do?
I'm a chiropractor.
And so when people mess up their backs golfing, you fix them.
Amen.
I love it. I love it.
I have one he's fixed.
That's awesome. So at Backcountry, obviously, as you know, we love nature, love getting out there in nature. So tell me about golf in general. I mean, there's a lot of jokes about golfers, right?
Well, we first have to define what there's a golf professional and a professional golfer.
Oh, okay.
So the professional golfer's out on tour, and I'm a golf professional working at a facility.
Awesome.
And so I'm a full-time golf instructor that works Tuesday through Saturday and teach probably close to 1,500 people a year. So
wow.
Wow.
And I'm assuming all ages.
All ages from 6 to 96.
Wow.
I'm coaching people full time, and I could have that range can happen every day. I could have a little 6-year-old in there, or I can have so I have private, semi-private. We just finished up our 9th junior camp. We had a full session this summer. It was incredible. Talk about how golf crazy is. We released the camp dates and signups in the first part of February, and they were sold out in less than 2 weeks.
Wow. So how long have you been golfing?
Since Tiger introduced me to, and I'm serious. If it wasn't for Tiger, I wouldn't be.
For Tiger Woods?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he came on, what, 2000?
He started in
1996,
97, and then he really hit, and the boom really hit in 2000.
Okay.
That's when he brought in 1 million golfers per year. Starting in 2000.
Million golfers, meaning people who took up the sport.
People like myself who had never played the sport.
Yeah, it was crazy time. And then there got to a period where about 5 or 6 years into that, when about 1 million people were leaving every year.
And why was that?
Because they weren't having any fun.
Wait, a golfer not having fun?
Yeah, and we're seeing it again right now. We're in that same
where it's
mode.
going up or down?
It's crazy. It's
going up. So why do you think golf has become again, after COVID, I would assume, why is there such a on-ramp for people wanting to golf?
It's that outdoor thing that you could do, that you were separated, you could play with 4 people, and you could spend 4.5 hours, 5 hours out there and be safe and be in the outdoors.
Or you can play by yourself, I would assume. I don't know. So when you golf,
yes.
So how often do you golf?
Every Friday.
Every week. Oh my goodness! You must be a doctor.
Don't jinx me.
No, he's hooked.
Okay, so every week you're out there. Do you do all 18?
Yes.
Oh, you do? How good are you?
I'm a 11 handicap.
11 handicap. I have no idea what that means. Like
average. 11 is average.
So what is a handicap?
A handicap is, so if I were to play with John,
yeah,
he's a professional, I'm an amateur.
Okay.
I would use my handicap, so he would have to give me some strokes to make it.
Oh,
we had a
11?
So that 11 is supposed to bring him back to par.
Oh,
right? So
okay. Got it.
Par 72, 11, so he's shooting between 80 and 85.
Okay, let's what is a par? What does that mean? Let's talk about some basic verbiage.
So par on an 18-hole facility would be the number of shots you should shoot.
Okay.
According to the par 3s, par 4s, and par 5s.
So let's say hole number 1 is a par 3.
Then par would be a par 3. And
so if you do it in 4, what's that?
Bogey.
You bogeyed.
Right.
What if you do it in 5?
Double bogey. And
if you do it in 6, do you just go home?
If you do it in 6, you stay home.
You do it on the PGA Tour. If you go higher than that, they put that he made an other.
They draw a sad face.
What
if you do it in 2.
That's a birdie.
A birdie. And what if you do it in 1?
Which this
I'm
man
still
right
waiting.
here just waiting for a hole in
I'm
one.
waiting for
Hole in 1.
I haven't got one.
Have you ever done a hole in 1?
No.
Have you?
10.
What? You've done 10 holes in
Yes.
1 on the same
No,
hole?
in different places. Different places. Actually, the fifth hole at Santa Teresa, I've made 2 hole-in-ones there.
And just so you know, he's referring to Santa Teresa Golf Course in San Jose, California.
South San Jose.
South San Jose, California. Awesome, awesome. All right, what you all also enjoy some other sports?
Yes. Ice hockey.
Ice hockey, all right, which is not done outdoors. Or did you play outdoors at all?
I grew up playing outdoors because I'm from Canada.
You're from Canada, so you grew up playing hockey, ice hockey outdoors.
Yes.
How fun was that? Like as a kid?
As a kid, yeah.
Like how old were you? Yeah.
12, 13.
Oh, really? Did you guys get in fights?
No.
I mean, that's the fun part about watching hockey, right?
You were frozen. You were frozen. You couldn't move.
What's the best place you've ever golfed at?
Wow, that's a tough one. One of the best places that Tony and I have played that was it's very remote is the Preserve in Carmel Valley. I'd have to put that right up on the list of one of those unique golf courses that most people can't get on.
Is it private?
Very private.
Okay.
And it takes from Carmel Valley Road takes about 30 minutes to get out to the golf course way back there.
Oh, serious? Okay.
So it's way back there.
All right.
And it's on Ohlone Indian property out there. And
do you gamble while you're out there?
No, there's no gamble. I gamble when I play golf with the shot selections.
Yeah, this is true. What's the hardest course you've ever played?
The hardest golf course I ever played was this place called the Eagle's Nest in Florida.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Where I was back in Florida playing Port St. Lucie, playing the Club Pro Championship. I missed the cut. But a bunch of us missed the cut, and we went to play this golf course, and it said, "Oh, you got to try this golf course out," and it's in Florida. It's called the Eagle's Nest. And when we checked in for our Club Pro Championship, everybody got a dozen golf balls from Canada. So I brought my dozen golf balls to this golf course.
And how many did you leave with?
I had lost every one of my golf balls. If you don't hit it in the fairway, it goes in the water on either side. I've never played a golf course that tough to where every shot that I missed, I lost.
As a golf pro.
I lost 12 golf balls.
Wow, that's amazing. By the way, I would love to know your best place, if you're a golfer or ever have gone out. I'm not talking about putt golf.
No.
With the bridges and the dragons and all that.
That's fun too.
That is super fun. I used to do that with my kids. Absolutely love it. Would love to know where your favorite golf places are now.
But a little story to take about the Preserve. Were you playing with me when they took us to the oldest grove of redwoods?
Yeah.
That was
me and the buddy.
So we played this, and the caddies that were taken around took us on a detour. We were out in the very, very back portion of the property. They took us on a little ride in our carts back to one of the oldest groves of redwood trees. It was spectacular.
That's amazing.
Absolutely spectacular. So that made it such a treat to go out and play that golf course.
So when you're out golfing, and not talking about instructing people, because work is work, and I'm sure sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's like, am I done yet? and all that. But when you're out in nature, seeing the redwood trees or just the beautiful, say, Pacific Ocean, or in Florida, the water there, how does that make you feel, like when you're just out?
For me, when I played Pebble Beach, it was like our version of saying, when you joke, you go, if heaven's like this, take me now.
Yeah.
Because it's a piece of property like no other.
It's refreshing.
Oh, it's beyond. It's hard to explain.
Relaxing.
Everything. It's you're outdoor. You're playing a sport that is tough, but is also extremely enjoyable. And then you got the water, you got the golf course. It's just the beauty of
outdoors.
I mean,
I had a chance to play Scottsdale National I got invited back there, and then I came back and I told Tony about it, and he goes, describe what this place is like.
Now,
and
Scottsdale National in Arizona.
In Arizona.
Yeah. Okay.
Very exclusive place. And I said, Tony, the only way I can really describe it is that if you and I died right now and went to golf heaven, we'd end up on the first tee.
Oh, wow.
At Scottsdale National. And then we ended up.
And what did I tell you? So take me to heaven on the first tee. And he did.
And we did. We made,
oh, you did it together?
We did.
Okay, got it.
I made some arrangements, and we did a road trip out there.
That's amazing.
And we experienced it, and we got it in our rooms there, and the 4-bedroom room and quad area and stuff. We're supposed to go out and enjoy some dessert at the main clubhouse, and he goes, "I'm not leaving,"
because it was so nice.
It was so nice.
Now, the mission statement for backcountry.church is simply helping people connect with God. That's our vertical relationship with others, and then ourselves. In this era, people connecting with themselves is super important because most people don't know themselves well enough, and if they don't, they're not going to love others well. And helping people connect with God, others, and themselves through the enjoyment of nature. So you guys have become friends, and partly through this enjoyment of nature outside. How do you guys connect with others outside? Like talking on the golf course, or going for a walk, or when you're playing hockey or whatever. How is it that you connect with others?
Well, that very question came up between Tony and I. We were working together in hot food ministry and wanted to do an event for men in golf and food, and we ended up putting together an event up in Plumas Pines, and we just finished our 4th year of getting 22 guys together.
So 22 guys went up there just to hang out.
Just to hang out, to have talks we did some course walks in the trees. Eric Cogdale did an amazing talk where he took us to one of the holes, and he did a talk on David and Goliath, and he was down in the valley. There was these mounds, and we were sitting on one side, and as we looked up, there's these 200-foot redwood giants around us, and he was telling this great story of scripture, and I know I'll never forget that, and the smell. You may not remember what was said, but that experience of being there with 20 guys, listening to Eric speak and recount this story of this guy running right into the giant,
right? And because guys have a hard time connecting,
open up,
and that's the main purpose of this conference, is to get men up in a safe place, in safe environment, that after a couple of days might loosen up their lips a little bit to say something, to get something off their heart that they've been maybe hanging on for quite some time,
in order to become healthy and to connect with others, because that's how we're wired, is to be connected to others. But life is busy, and we don't have time, and we got this going on, and it's kind of awkward to talk and stuff. And again, that's the purpose of backcountry.church. Is one of the purposes is to allow people to connect with their humanity to each other in a healthy way, so that they'll be healthy. That makes sense.
And then we usually have about 4 or 5 condos, so it houses between 4 and 5 men get a chance to go back to the condo, and they
just hang out and
talk and
do they roast marshmallows?
No. But we usually like I did a clinic. I did a couple clinics, and one of the first clinics I did was about the golf swing, and I gave them something to take back to the room to discuss about the finish of the golf swing, where we have a saying at Santa Teresa: learn to finish your swing before you start. And then I paralleled it with the finish work of the cross. And so it was a nice tie-in to where they could take that back, and if you focus on that on the finish, what's going to happen in the finish of the golf swing or the finished work of Christ, what would your life be like if you focused on it's finished.
Right,
Everything's finished. And so it brought up some great conversation with the guys in their condos.
That's
So,
pretty cool. What is the worst game of golf that you've ever played? What place will you never go back? You're like,
Well, not to.
I'm not going back to Eagles Nest again all day.
So I got hooked on golf at Santa Teresa.
Okay.
And I didn't understand the sport. Like you say, what's a birdie, what's a bogey? Had no idea. So I went out, bought a pair of clubs. Didn't really know what to look for. Just took the cheapest stuff they had. Went to Santa Teresa, and I was paired up with 3 young kids, about the 14, 15 age group, and these guys were bombing it. And I felt intimidated, but I played with them. And I only finished 9 holes. I didn't realize there was a backside. So when they said, "How'd you do?" I said, I want to say it was like a 68.
They were like, wow.
I thought I was all that in a bag of chips. Because I'm like, I've never played the game before.
Maybe
the pros are doing
maybe
68, 72.
So that's amazing.
I'm like, I'm amazing.
Now I'll just get to 68 where I'm at.
Well, I didn't know that.
14 holes, man, just go out the golf course. What'd you say,
That is
68?
classic.
So when a patient said, "How many holes did you play?" I go, 9. He goes, "Yeah, it's 18." And it, you do 68 times 2, and you realize, I need some help. I need some help.
Have you ever taken lessons from him?
I've never taken lessons, period.
Oh, serious?
Never, no. Like, he will go and play, and he'll give a few pointers, and his assistant at the time, David, would give a few pointers.
And then you take the cotton out of your ears.
But it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, we did some work getting him ready to get fitted for equipment.
So we've done all that. Yep.
Yeah. So that spurred on some growth development by getting fit into good equipment.
Yeah.
And then the lessons that he learned through that process has made.
Right.
And then the fact that he's playing on a regular basis.
It's huge.
His game is really.
Now
this last road trip he was a superstar, man. He was.
That's amazing. Let me ask you a question. One of the things that I've found in life that is super important, regardless of your age, is that you continuously learn.
Yep.
Now, that could mean getting another college degree. In fact, I know a guy who's in his early 40s, and he's going to a college, and he's earning every degree that they have at this college. He doesn't have to, but he's doing it for just self-enrichment, just for fun.
Fantastic.
Which is amazing, right? So you said you teach, up to 1,000, 1,500 people a year, let's say. What are some encouragement or things that you see that stop people from having the ability to learn? Because again, learning is super important in life, even in your 80s and 90s, until you are not able to learn. Because once you stop learning, bad things happen.
Sure.
Right? A person can become arrogant, I know it all, whatever. And also people will become bored. I read a book recently that talked about how unless a person is, doing 4% beyond what they know on whatever kind of skill set, that's kind of the sweet spot. But anything beyond 4% more, they become intimidated and stop. Or if they're not being stretched, they become bored. And when people are bored, life gets kind of ugly at that point. What are some encouragements that you have for us to stay engaged in learning in general?
Well, you have to check in with yourself, and I can tell when somebody is open to coaching or if they're not open to coaching. So we have that conversation in the very beginning, and I explain the kind of methodology that we use, which is a non-judgmental awareness coaching. So it's not about right or wrong, good or bad. It's just about developing one's awareness. So it sets people at ease when they're not going to be judged. And then when people start to become resistant, it's something has something to do with, are you open to coaching? Are you open to take on something
What
new?
are some signs that people are becoming resistant?
Well, they don't want to do what you recommend. In the
Okay,
way,
okay, all
They
right.
just go, I'd rather do it my way. And
Not
I'm
looking at you.
And I'm like, well,
Okay.
and if they're not open to trying something new in a golf lesson, then why did you if you want to do it your way, go do it your way, right?
Right.
So yeah, our style is great to have. They get to see themselves on video, and we know that everybody has an image gap between what they think is happening, what's actually happening, and I can help them close that gap through a non-judgmental awareness practice and coaching style, and it becomes, sometimes it can be, I get a chance to share my faith through my coaching because when they start to see how they're swinging the club and what they thought that they were swinging. I know for the longest time I thought I swung like footy couples, and I thought I was long down the fairway. I thought I was Mr. Cool.
So that gap is like, a person may think they're the Fonz, but they're Elmer Fudd instead. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, sometimes they see their swing and they go, I didn't know I was doing that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Because they see the video of them. Now, change is very hard for people. If anything COVID has taught us is that change is difficult. And we had so many changes during that 2+ years. What advice do you have to help people change?
Well, I think that what people need to get engaged in is putting themselves out there to try something new. They have to have I knew for myself that I had to have a different relationship to failing. That when I failed, it wasn't something bad. It was part of learning. So,
Wait, say that again. So when you fail,
and especially in golf, people start get very judgmental and
with
about
themselves.
and everything.
Yeah.
But it's a part of learning.
They beat themselves up
very quickly, and that's
as
what I did
opposed to taking that failure and
learning
flipping
from it,
it
and learning from it.
By the
Learn
way,
from it.
on the road series, the road trip series, that is lesson number 2, episode number 2, is our troubles and trials, which always cause change, are there for our benefit, not for our failure, even though we may fail in the process. It's this whole change thing.
How do you, I would ask these people, how do you grow without change?
You can't. It's very hard. But we all, including myself, we like routine. We like the same. We like, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Well, how long have you been doing that? A cup of coffee or, whatever.
We're in our own little bubble.
Yeah. We don't like change. We're resistant to that. And
because in the golf swing, the change is going to feel what?
It's going to feel rough.
It's going to feel awkward at best, right?
Absolutely.
And the saying goes is that, can you be comfortable being uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable?
Yeah.
Right? And are you willing to put yourself out there, right?
Right.
And in golf, the harder that you try to do golf, the worse it gets, right?
And so relaxing is a part of it.
Huge learning to let go.
Yeah.
Swing a golf club and wear off the Novocaine that you've been dipped into, right? And start feeling your golf swing, what's working, what's not working, without judging it. And it's a process that I take people through every day, and people are so that's the number one commitment that golfers are in, is judging. They're in judgment. If they can learn to play golf without judgment, they're going to have a happy life.
Is it harder because generally, like when you golf on Fridays, normally it's not by yourself, right?
No.
It's usually with somebody else or a group.
It's called a foursome. 4 of us.
Okay, 4 of you. It's harder. It's easier to judge yourself because you have somebody else there that may be better or worse, depending on the depending on the day, right? Now, talking about change, you have a quote that you had mentioned to me earlier. What was that, about people changing or staying the same or learning? What was that?
So I had a good friend that once told me, if you're ripe, you rot. If you're raw, you grow.
So say that again. If you're ripe.
Yeah. You rot. You're going to rot.
You rot. Yes, right.
So think of any fruit.
A fruit, yeah.
Think
I
of
had some figs and they were
food, anything.
Right, okay.
If it ripens to the point of not eating it, it's going to rot then.
Yeah, and then
but if you're raw, you're going to grow.
Yeah.
And we constantly want to be in a state of rawness because change is absolutely mandatory. It's needed.
So let me put you on the spot. What are you learning right now? Just one thing real quick, 30 seconds.
What am I learning right now?
Yeah.
Let's see, on the golf course in my...
Sure.
I'm learning certain shot shape that I like to hit. It's a left to right. It's a power fade that I like to hit on the golf course, and it takes a lot for me because I have a tendency to be a right to left player, and so I have to change the way that I'm wired to hit it from left to right.
Okay, all right.
So
I have no idea what he just said, but I'm sure it's good. And what about you? What are you learning?
I'm learning right now that we can be in a beautiful place like this, talk about God, and not have to be in a physical building to share who He is, that He loves us, and that we have the freedom to talk about Him, and no one's going to come out here and go, "Oh, you're talking about Jesus.
Yeah,
I'm going to arrest you."
It's pretty cool. Now we have at backcountry.church we have a feature called Where to Next. Where to next?
I love it.
All right. So let me ask you, what's on your bucket list? Now it could be a golf course, it could be a country, a place.
Well, I know exactly what's on my bucket list.
Tell me, like, what's the one spot you would love to go to?
You are going to help me climb Half Dome next year.
Half Dome. Yes. Done. Got that. Half Dome.
In June 21st, the longest day of the year.
June 21st, longest day of the year, 2023.
You heard him on camera.
So we have enough sunlight.
Yes, because I'm going to need it.
And he's referring to Half Dome, which is the iconic climb in Yosemite National Park. What about you? What's like...
I don't want to climb Half Dome. you can go ahead and do that.
What like golf course? Or what?
I want to take my son to Bannon Dunes.
Where?
Which is Bannon Dunes, which is up in...
Has nothing to do with Ben and Jerry's.
No, Bannon Dunes up in Oregon along the coast, and it's the closest things to going overseas to Scotland okay. It's got about 5 different golf courses now, Bannon Dunes, and to spend a week there playing golf with my son would be
would be amazing.
Or going and get a trip of guys going to the home of golf to Scotland. To get a guided tour to do a bunch of those golf courses. Yeah, he doesn't like that. So
Pastor Kyle would love to hear your Scottish accent.
All right.
I don't really have a Scottish accent per se. I kind of mix things together, Scottish, Irish, and stuff, because the kids because I teach so many kids, and so I do a lot of accents and stuff to encourage the kids. And when they hit a shot, I usually will say like, "That's a great shot you hit there, laddie. That's great." And then if you watch,
that makes me want to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean. But anyways,
but the kids just love it. And after watching a couple episodes of Outlander, I'll be in character for the golf camp, and
I love it. Hey, what last words? Anything else you want to share, and any encouragement for people to get out there, maybe pick up golf for the first time, or
I'll put it out there if anybody wants to come golf with me.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'd be happy to.
Just email us at hello@backcountry.church. Anything else from you?
If anybody wants to join us in the men's golf conference that we have every July, I would recommend that you contact your site and get the information, because it's growing and looks like we'll probably double the size next July. And the setting up in Plumas Pines is heaven on earth.
Plumas Pines is in the state of California.
It's in Northern California. It's about 45 minutes above Truckee, and we spend couple days, 3 days up there, and we play. We have a shotgun tournament. We have talks. We have walks. We have gatherings. Tony does a tremendous job with the food.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to say, Tony is an incredible cook. This guy knows food. That's something we haven't talked about. Maybe I'll have you and somebody else on to talk about food, because food is a big deal.
Well, we can do another series, and I'll talk about wine that complements the food. How's that?
I love it. Hey, thanks so much for joining us with a conversation that give me 5. I love it.
Thank you.
So great to have you guys here. Make sure you download our app if you haven't done that yet. Check out all the conversations that are there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and the others as well. God bless. This has been a great time. Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.